These veins are coming from the placenta, and remember, during the fetal circulation your veins will carry the oxygenated blood. Okay, so these are carrying the oxygenated blood and they are running towards the developing heart. From the developing heart it will reach into your developing brain. So as it passes through your subcells, it will disturb the structure of the subcells. So basically your subcells will be present like this. Okay, once the veins pass through this, it will form a structure like this. So it will form some gaps or spaces in between. These gaps or spaces will later develop into your hepatic sinusoids. Okay, this is how exactly the development of your hepatic sinusoids takes place from the subcells. So the disturbance of the Vitelline vein and umbilical vein changes your subsets into forming the hepatic sinusoids. Is it clear? Okay. Next. So this is pars hepaticus and these are the, what structure is this? Hepatic cylinders. Okay, and here in this part I mentioned we can see one more bud-like structure appearing. This is called as pars. This is called as pars cystica. Okay, and remember your pars cystica is nothing but a mass of cells. By the starting of 4th week, this mass of cells will undergo canalization process. What do you mean by canalization? What do you mean by canalization? Formation of hollow cells. Okay, fine. Any other answers?
Apoptosis. Degradation of these cells.
Okay. Okay, let me know by the end of the class. Okay. So your pars cystica is nothing but a mass of cell. During the during the beginning of the 4th week, it undergo canalization and the structure will change like this. It will give us a small dilated part and a small duct part that connecting into your pars hepaticus. So the small dilated part will later develop into your gallbladder and the small duct part will develop into your cystic duct. Okay, this is how the development of your gallbladder and cystic duct takes place. From the pars cystica or from the mass of cell that produced during the beginning of the 4th week. So during the development, if any of these ducts, we have 4 different ducts here. This is cystic duct and this will give rise to common, which duct? Common hepatic duct, and this will give rise to common bile duct, and these are also ducts only. These are hepatic cylinders. Okay, those are nothing but ducts that is present within the liver. Those are called as intrahepatic biliary ducts. Okay, those are called as intrahepatic biliary ducts, where these 3 are called as extrahepatic biliary ducts, that is present outside the liver part. Okay, so any of these ducts become narrow, it will disturb the flow of the fluid inside the tube-like structure. Okay, so that particular condition is called atresia of ducts. It is called as atresia of ducts. It is nothing but narrowing of the ducts, which will interrupt the flow of the fluid that is taking place in your bile ducts and also in the liver part. Okay. So now in this part we have the liver, right? This is liver, this will be the gallbladder, and inside this here we have intrahepatic biliary ducts, and these are the extrahepatic biliary ducts. So if the junction between your intrahepatic and extrahepatic ducts closes, or if they fade to union with one another, it will lead to one more condition called polycystic liver. It is called as polycystic liver. So polycystic liver is nothing but the failure of union of your extrahepatic biliary ducts and intrahepatic biliary ducts, or the absence of junction between the common bile duct, common hepatic duct and intrahepatic biliary ducts. It will lead to a condition called polycystic liver. So once there will be no union or no junction between these two structures, whatever the bile that present inside your liver will start forming a cyst-like structure like this. Okay, so this formation of cyst will make your liver appear like a cystic condition, which is called as polycystic liver, which it is a very rare condition. It is often associated with your polycystic kidney and also cystic pancreas. Okay, it's a rare condition, but whenever it is present, it is also associated with your polycystic kidney mainly. Okay, is it clear? These two conditions, narrowing of the duct and disturbing the flow of the bile or any other fluid, will lead to a condition called atresia of the duct. And if the union between your extrahepatic and intrahepatic biliary ducts fails, it will lead to a formation of cyst inside the liver due to the increase of the bile. It will lead to a condition called polycystic liver. Okay, any other condition? There is one more condition called accessory bile duct. Accessory bile duct. Okay, so what happens in the accessory bile duct is, if you see this diagram properly, the only way your gallbladder and liver is connecting through the cystic duct. So any other duct that forms along with your cystic duct will lead to a condition called accessory bile duct. So basically this part of the liver will directly connect with your gallbladder. Okay, so this condition is called accessory bile duct. So this, whatever the structure that will form, no, this is called as accessory bile duct. What happens if the accessory bile duct present? Advantage or disadvantage? Advantage. Okay, any other answers? What happens if the accessory bile duct present? Okay, I'll give you some time, you can check later. We have one more condition, this is the last one. So we have a developing liver, okay, and we all know your liver have right lobe and left lobe, right? Right lobe and left lobe. Left lobe. Okay, so during the developmental stage, from the right lobe, we can see a small tongue-like extension from the liver. Okay, especially from the right side or right lobe of the liver. So this structure is called as Riedel's lobe. Okay, this is called as Riedel's lobe. This is one more condition and it can be easily removed through the surgery. Okay. These are some important clinical conditions you have to study in the development of the liver. Any doubts in this? Any doubts?